Good afternoon, YouTube. Good afternoon, Facebook, and good afternoon, Twitter. Welcome to the 8th part of the 10-part series on the 10 biggest problems that new owners make when buying rental property. So this particular problem is forgetting to include vacancy rates in your calculations. All right, and this is not going to be a long video, but it's a major video. Vacancies are probably one of the most top expenses that a landlord will incur dealing with rental real estate. Vacancies are just part of the game. They're going to happen. So, well, what do we do to ensure that we don't put ourselves in a place where we're going to have a lot of vacancies? Well, the first thing you need to do is put yourself in a below average vacancy area. So when you're out driving for property and you're looking for where you would like to buy property, you want to put yourself in a below average vacancy rate. That's what you want. You don't want above average. You want below average vacancy rate. Well, you said, Adrian, how are we going to do this? Where do we get this information? Well, there's three areas. Okay, this is U.S. Census Bureau, which puts out this information all the time. All right, their data is raw. It is not the best, but it will point you in the right direction. Okay, so if you're pointing in the right direction, along the way, you should be able to find some other areas to do some things for you. So number two, your real estate agents. All right. Your real estate agents, your brokerage houses, these people have this information on the MLS. They have this information, and they will be willing to share some of this information with you. All right. The third thing is, and this is the best for me, is the property management companies. All right. This is what they do. All right. They have all this information. They keep the books. This is their bread and butter. So out of the three, the U.S. Census Bureau, the real estate brokerage houses, I would go to the property management companies because this is their forte. This is really what they do. They would gladly give you this information because they see you as a potential client. All right. So those are the three things that I would do to put myself in a below average vacancy rate. Okay, you have to figure in these vacancy rates because they'll give you the numbers. It might be 3%. It might be 4%. They'll give you the percentage of what it takes to get a person into a house. All right, and you need to figure these percentages in. So if they're telling me 3%, then I might put it at 3.5. You have to leave some margin for error. All right, so it's very important that you pay attention to this vacancy because, like I said, if you own multiple properties, that means that you're going to have some vacancies. Vacancies are part of real estate. They're part of filling up the gaps. Vacancy is part of the game. So if you have multiple properties, you're going to have some vacancies. This is what you're going to deal with. So you want to put yourself in the below average vacancy area. All right. And I just gave you three of the best ways to go about doing this. Okay. Also, we want to reduce some of our vacancy losses. We want to make sure that some of the people we keep them. Okay. So how do we go about that? Well, number one is you want to market to the right people. Of course, everybody would love to have the guy or the woman who pays their rent on time, takes care of the house and all these different things. Personally, myself, I'm going to the property management team. Again, this is what they do. They market, they do the investigations, background checks, credit checks, all these different things they do. So I'm going to the people who already have the system. They have a system in place already. All right, I don't need to try and reinvent the wheel when the wheel is already invented. Okay, keep your property nice. Everybody would like to have a nice property to live in. Again, I'm going to the property management guys, and you might listen to me and say, "Well, Adrian, you keep talking about the property management guys." I do, because I don't want a job. I'm an investor. I don't want to be the landlord that comes with the plumbing pipes and the fixing of the toilets, and that's not what I'm in for. I'm here to invest in some property, make some cash flow, and keep the process going. I don't want a job. That's not what I'm looking for. So believe it or not, the property management companies are not as expensive as you think, because in the long run, they will save you multitudes of dollars. So for keeping my property, my landscaping, I'm going to the property management companies. Also, we're going to talk about how to keep the good guys. How do we keep the good women and the good families that we have? Well, it's going to cost, if a good family leaves, or we have a tenant that leaves, what is it going to cost me to repaint and repair the stuff that was broken and get the property ready for the next tenant? How many weeks is that going to cost me? So how much dollars is that going to cost me to get the property ready? Then I have to, once the property's ready, then I have to find a tenant. I have to reevaluate. I have to investigate. I got to do the background checks, and all these different things have to be done again. So what I would do, and this is called incentive, okay, with my good tenants, when the lease is getting ready to expire, I would offer them a discount. I would offer them a discount based upon what it would cost me to do all the things I just mentioned. Repaint the place, clean the place, do the reinvestigation, the background checks, the credit checks, all those different things. I might give my tenant a break for 2 months on what I saved or what it would cost me to do all those things. I might give him a break. That might be an incentive, okay, because he's been such a good client, a good tenant. So these are some of the things that I would do to reduce my vacancy rate. Again, I'm not going to get blown out with this because it's very simple. Please include vacancy in your expenses. It is something that you will experience. And as I said, as you go along and you own multiple properties, it can cost you thousands of dollars. All right? So you need to buffer yourself as much as possible. And you do that by doing the numbers, buying in a below average vacancy area, okay? Going and finding these numbers from the U.S. Census Bureau, the real estate agents, and the property management companies, all right? Give your good tenants some incentives on staying put. Keep your property up to par. Keep it nice. Keep your curb appeal very nice. And of course, you want to market the right tenants, okay? So with that being said, it's been a pleasure again. I'll see you guys later. Take care. This was part 8 of how to be the biggest problems that new owners have when buying real estate, and it is keeping your vacancy expenses in your calculations. All right. So with that being said, have a good evening.